actually got to work with myself was in the beginning of 1995 when we did our first cochlear implant surgery here at Boston Children's.
What was it? What was it like? What did you think of this then very new technology?
Oh, I couldn't wait to get into it and work with it because I came out of a background of physiological psychology, and I could think better electrically than acoustically about sound. And that's what it's about. When you work with hearing aids, you think of acoustics, the acoustics of the way the sound is presented. And when you work with cochlear implants, sure, it's an acoustical signal going in, but what comes out is not sound. It's actually little electrical pulses stimulating the nerve of hearing. It's an entirely different way to think about hearing.
Could you talk about that a little bit more? Because most people, I think, just think it makes the sound louder.
There is quite a bit of confusion about how it works. I would agree with you. Well, if you take a hearing aid takes sound. The microphone picks up the sound and turns it into electricity, and then amplifies the electrical signal, and then turns it back into sound, which is now bigger, bigger sound waves, bigger changes in sound pressure. And so this amplified sound is fed down your ear canal to the eardrum, and then the three little bones behind it, and then the cochlea of the inner ear. So the sound does have to stimulate the cochlea of the inner ear in order to activate the nerve of hearing to hear. Now, what if the cochlea is functioning so minimally, either damaged or never formed properly, that no matter how you amplify the sound, you don't get enough loudness and clarity to really have access to the sounds of speech? Well, then you bypass it with the cochlear implant. Instead of stimulating the cochlea with movements of the structures caused by the sound waves, you stimulate the cochlea with little electrical pulses. And now, does that sound a little scary, maybe?
Yes.
Having electricity in your ear? But that's what your ear is doing right now. You have thousands of little hair cells in your cochlea of your inner ear that are producing tiny electrical pulses as they wiggle in response to the sound, and these stimulate the nerve of hearing. Well, the electrodes of the cochlear implant do the same thing. They produce tiny electrical pulses to stimulate the nerve of hearing.